Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another What If video. And in today's What If video, we will be doing part 3 and the final part of What If Infinite was in Sonic 06. Now, if you haven't seen the first two parts, I recommend you go check them out since I'm not going to be recapping them. This way we can go ahead and dive right into this What If. So like I said, make sure you guys go ahead, check those parts out so you know what's going on. Make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you guys thought of the first two parts, and if you're excited for part 3. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right back into this What If where we left off. We open up where we last left off as we see Infinite flying around all of Soliana in order to find Modern Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Silver, Blaze, Classic Sonic, and Elise. Infinite knows that since he struck a deal with Mephiles, as long as he kills one of the two Sonics and makes Elise cry, he'll accomplish his mission. Though, he is a bit suspicious of Mephiles. After all, Mephiles seems powerful enough to take on Sonic by himself. Why would he need his help? And what is he trying to release? Infinite puts it off to the side and decides that he'll deal with it later. After all, unlike Eggman, he's actually showing support for him. Thus, Infinite continues to fly around, attempting to figure out where the group is. And after a while, he would manage to find them. At this point in time, Modern Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Silver, Blaze, and Classic Sonic are all trying to escort Elise back to her castle. However, before they can, they hear the Phantom Ruby, and they look up, and they see Infinite arriving, creating Phantom Cubes. Infinite says to them,
"Why, hello, Sonic."
Sonic glares at Infinite with him saying, "Infinite."
I must admit, I was quite impressed with your last battle with me and the Doctor. I honestly thought you wouldn't make it out of there alive.
Classic Sonic then steps up with him saying, "Well, either way, we stopped you before, and without Eggman, you can't defeat all of us." However, Infinite laughs with him saying,
Really now, let's put that to the test.
Infinite then creates Phantom Ruby copies of Shadow, Chaos, Metal Sonic, and Gemerald. Infinite then tells the Phantom Ruby copies,
Attack.
The Phantom copies then begin to attack them. Modern Sonic would attempt to grab Elise and escape. However, Infinite prevents it from escaping. Modern Sonic quickly realizes that he's going to be forced to fight Infinite, and thus tells Elise to be careful. Elise nods her head as Modern Sonic begins to take on Infinite with the help of Classic Sonic and Silver. While at the same time, Mephiles watches from the shadows, waiting for the right time to strike in order to kill one of the two Sonics, specifically Modern Sonic, as although Classic Sonic is still Sonic, he's not Modern Sonic, the one that Elise has been hanging out with. Thus, Mephiles is waiting for the right time to kill him. Modern Sonic uses a homing attack on Infinite, throwing him flying back. Silver also uses his telekinesis to throw Infinite into a wall. Classic Sonic would also attempt to go in for a spin dash, however Infinite would manage to block the attack, only to be hit by a super peel out, followed up by Modern Sonic using a spin dash of his very own. However, Infinite then uses the Phantom Ruby to make Phantom Cubes and fires them at the trio, but they would manage to dodge, with Silver using his telekinesis to throw rubble at Infinite. Infinite easily dodges the attack and kicks Silver to the ground. Silver, however, would manage to get back up and would grab rubble using his telekinesis and would throw it at Infinite, throwing him down to the ground, followed up by Silver throwing psychic knives at Infinite. Infinite, however, would manage to get back up and would prepare to fire another attack at Modern Sonic. Modern Sonic, however, would manage to dodge the attack and would homing attack Infinite multiple times while Classic Sonic does super peel-outs and spin dashes, and Silver holds Infinite in place using his telekinesis and throws Infinite into the air, followed up by him throwing a couple of psychic knives at him, throwing him down to the ground injured. However, Infinite quickly manages to get back up and uses the Phantom Ruby to make a Phantom copy of Fang the Hunter, who fires his gun at the group, which they manage to dodge. Classic Sonic takes on the fake Fang, while Modern Sonic and Silver take on Infinite. Classic Sonic dodges the fake Fang's strikes and will manage to quickly defeat him, while Modern Sonic uses multiple homing attacks on Infinite, and Silver uses telekinesis to throw Infinite down into the wall, followed by throwing him in the air, allowing Modern Sonic to get a spin dash on Infinite. Infinite, however, would manage to get back up, and would then create a Phantom Ruby copy of Emerald from Sonic Battle, forcing Modern Sonic to fight him. And to make matters worse, all of Emerald's skills that he learned at Sonic Battle, this fake Emerald can use. Thus, Modern Sonic's having an extremely tough time fighting him. Thus, Classic Sonic goes over to help his older self, while Silver takes on Infinite. Modern Sonic and Classic use multiple spin dashes on him, alongside Modern Sonic using multiple homing attacks on Emerald. However, Emerald manages to dodge all of them. Thus, Modern Sonic comes up with a plan and begins to distract Emerald, while at the same time, Classic Sonic gets multiple attacks in on Emerald. Modern Sonic then uses a charged up spin dash, throwing Emerald into the air, throwing him into a wall, completely destroying the illusion. While at the same time, Silver is struggling against Infinite, as Infinite begins to overwhelm Silver and kicks him down to the ground. However, Silver would manage to get back up, and at the same time, Tails, Knuckles, and Blaze would manage to do with the fake copies of General, Chaos, Shadow, and Metal Sonic. It would go over to help, with Blaze using her fire powers, throwing Infinite back, followed by Knuckles grabbing Infinite and throwing him down to the ground, allowing Tails to do a tail swipe, and Modern Sonic to get a spin dash along with Classic Sonic. Silver then uses his telekinesis to throw Infinite into the air and throw him into a wall. Infinite begins to get overwhelmed by the group. However, Infinite uses the Phantom Ruby to create a massive shockwave, throwing them all back down to the ground. Infinite then uses the Phantom Ruby to make a couple weapons and fires them at the group, which they manage to dodge. Modern Sonic and Modern Knuckles manage to get a few attacks on him, as does Silver with his telekinesis. Tails grabs Classic Sonic and throws him into the air, allowing Classic Sonic to get a spin dash in midair, while Blaze uses her fire powers on Infinite. However, Infinite uses another shockwave with the Phantom Ruby, and creates more weapons and fires them at their group, which they manage to dodge. Infinite then attempts to create a copy of Perfect Chaos. However, Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic prevent him, with Modern Sonic saying, "Yeah, not this time." Infinite glares at Modern Sonic and says,
Very well. Let's see how many seconds you would last.
Infinite then uses the Phantom Ruby once again, this time to create a copy of Ultimate General from Sonic Advance 3. Thus, the group begin to take him on, while Modern Sonic begins to take on Infinite at the same time. However, unbeknownst to both of them, Mephiles now realizes the perfect chance in order to strike Sonic. Modern Sonic will manage to dodge again majority of Infinite's attacks. However, as Infinite prepares another attack, he notices someone watching them, and he quickly realizes who it is, with him saying,
Mephiles, what are you doing here?
Modern Sonic turns around, as does the rest of the group, and Silver glares at Mephiles, with him saying, "Mephiles, you lied to us." Blaze prepares her fire powers to strike Mephiles. However, Mephiles simply blocks Blaze's attack and laughs, with him saying,
Why, yes, I did, Silver. But you must admit, it was quite a fun show, manipulating you and forcing you to fight Sonic, especially since you're so naive, and your friend,
as he points to Blaze,
is so naive to follow you.
Mephiles laughs, as Silver and Blaze glare at Mephiles. Modern Sonic glares at Mephiles too, with him saying, "Well, either way, we're gonna stop you." However, Mephiles just laughs, with him saying,
Really now? You really think you could stop me? The ultimate life form in this team barely stood a chance against me, yet here you are, claiming that you can beat me. We'll have to see, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Modern Sonic gets serious and asks Mephiles, "What did you do to Shadow, Rouge, and Omega?" Mephiles responds to Sonic's question with him saying,
Oh, don't worry. They're dealt with. Now I'll deal with you.
Mephiles then creates copies of themselves using the purple Chaos Emerald alongside Shadow monsters, and they attack Modern Sonic, focusing their attention on Modern Sonic. This way they can kill him and make Elise cry. Tails, Knuckles, Blaze, Silver, and Classic Sonic try to help Modern Sonic. However, Mephiles prevents them from helping him. While at the same time, Infinite quickly realizes what Mephiles did to him, lying to him just like he did Silver and Blaze, and Infinite uses the Phantom Ruby and fires Phantom Cubes at Mephiles. However, Mephiles just laughs and blocks the attack effortlessly, with him saying,
I must admit, Infinite, while you are more powerful than Silver, you're still just as naive.
Infinite glares at him, with him saying,
And give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you. You honestly think you can kill me, Infinite?
Mephiles then fires an attack at Infinite, throwing him back onto the ground, knocked out cold. Mephiles laughs, and then turns his attention back towards Sonic, and begins to overwhelm Modern Sonic. Modern Sonic, now desperate, would charge up a spin dash, and would charge towards Mephiles. However, Mephiles simply deflects the attack, and then gets a cheap shot on Sonic, thus allowing him to get the killing blow, thus killing Modern Sonic. Tails, Knuckles, Silver, Blaze, and Classic Sonic look shocked and horrified, as does Elise. and she runs over to Modern Sonic. However, he doesn't respond, and thus, Elise begins to cry as she realizes that Modern Sonic is in fact dead. Mephiles all the while laughs as Iblis is now released. Mephiles then says to Iblis,
Soon, Iblis, we will be whole again. And it's all thanks to that fool.
as he points to Infinite. Mephiles then uses the purple Chaos Emerald in order to summon the rest of the Chaos Emeralds and to fuse with Iblis to become Solaris once again, thus ending the whole world. While at the same time, Infinite regains consciousness and quickly realizes what happened, and he also looks up and sees Solaris reborn as the blinding light surrounds him and the rest of the Sonic cast as they're consumed by it. However, the cast open their eyes and look around, shocked, wondering where they are, and they all turn to look at each other, with Team Dark, Amy, and Eggman also being transported to that area. Infinite angrily stares at Eggman for having abandoned him after their last fight, and thus prepares to attack Eggman. However, Shadow tells Infinite, "Now's not the time. You can deal with him later. Besides, the Doctor probably has something in order to control that jewel. This way you can't turn on him." As he points to Phantom Ruby, with Eggman even speaking up with him saying, "He's right, Infinite. I have something that can prevent you from attacking me." Infinite snarls at Eggman, but they all turn their attention back towards the dead Sonic. Amy begins to cry, while the other heroes mourn Sonic's death. However, while the heroes are mourning Sonic's death, Infinite simply pushes off to the side, with him not caring, and turns his attention towards Solaris. Infinite prepares to attack it. However, Eggman tells Infinite not to, with him explaining, "It's already taking up every point in time from every universe. You can't fight it."
And tell me why I can't fight it, Doctor.
"If you were to destroy it here and now, it would do nothing, as it also exists in the past and in the future."
I don't care. I'm going to get my revenge for what Mephiles did to me. I don't care what he is now.
"You and I both know you're not powerful enough to stop him, Infinite."
Like I said, Doctor, I don't care. I will get my revenge.
Thus, Infinite prepares to go fight Solaris, while at the same time, Silver makes a suggestion how to revive Sonic by gathering the 7 Chaos Emeralds. This way they can bring him back to life. Thus, with the plan decided, the Sonic cast head out, while at the same time, Infinite begins to fight Solaris, while the cast goes to get the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Infinite makes Phantom Ruby copies of Ultimate General, Perfect Chaos, and Metal Overlord, and sends them to different points of time while controlling them. Ultimate General heads to the past, Metal Overlord heads to the future, and Perfect Chaos stays in the present, and they all begin to fight Solaris. However, due to them not being as powerful as Supersonic, Shadow, and Silver, they're having a hard time. However, they still pack quite a punch. Alongside this, Infinite has backups just in case they fail, with them also planning to use the Hardball King, Devil Doom, and the Bio Lizard as well. However, although they're putting up a fight, Solaris is easily beginning to overwhelm them. Infinite, realizing this, would use the Phantom Ruby in an attempt to stun Solaris or throw him back. However, it does little to affect Solaris, as Solaris fires a massive beam of energy at Infinite, but Infinite barely manages to dodge the attack. Infinite quickly realizes that if one of those beams hits him, he could be done for. Thus, Infinite, using the Phantom Ruby, would create a shield around himself to protect him, while controlling Perfect Chaos, Metal Overlord, and Ultimate General. However, Ultimate General goes down first, followed up by Perfect Chaos, and then Metal Overlord. However, Infinite refuses to give up. It makes Phantom Ruby illusions of the Hardball King, Devil Doom, and the Bio Lizard. Infinite sends them to different points of times. However, it soon becomes apparent that similar to the first 3 illusions that Infinite made, that these 3 illusions are getting overwhelmed by the might and power of Solaris. Infinite, now desperate, would use the Phantom Ruby in an attempt to change reality. This way he can make himself stronger and the illusions. However, simply put, Solaris is far too powerful for Infinite and his Phantom copies. Thus, he easily begins wiping the floor with them, one by one. Solaris first takes down Devil Doom, then the Bio Lizard, and finally the Hard-Boiled King. And once they're all down, Solaris then turns his attention towards Infinite. Infinite, now beginning to realize that Eggman was right, would begin to grow more and more desperate, and thus would use the Phantom Ruby to create Phantom Ruby cubes. Infinite then uses the Phantom Ruby cubes and fires them at Solaris. However, much to Infinite's shock, Solaris simply deflects the attack. He even fires a feedback at Infinite, which he manages to both dodge and block. Infinite uses the Phantom Ruby to create a massive laser beam and fires it at Solaris. However, Solaris uses his own laser beam and fires it back at Infinite, and the two laser beams clash. However, Solaris' Easy begins to overwhelm Infinite, and thus Infinite is thrown down to the ground, where Eggman, Elise, and the dead Sonic are. Infinite turns to Eggman with him saying,
You were right.
I know. Our best chance is to leave it up to them, as he points to the heroes returning with the Chaos Emeralds ready to revive Sonic. However, you still can't help, as they're quite powerful, the illusions, but you're going to need that help, as he points to the dead Sonic and Shadow and Silver. Infinite, although hesitant, nods his head, as the Chaos Emeralds surround Sonic, and they prepare to revive him. Just like the original timeline, the 7 Chaos Emeralds surround Sonic, and Elise kisses Sonic to revive him. I'm sorry, I know some of you might have wanted this to change, but let's be honest, even if Infinite was in 06, let's be brutally honest here. Infinite showing up here would not have any change to Elise reviving Sonic, as unfortunate as this is, because I think this scene sucks. But anyway, modern Sonic, now revived in his super form, will then turn his attention towards classic Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, and would power them up, allowing them to transform into their super forms as well. Modern Sonic turns to Infinite and asks him, So, are we gonna work together to stop him? As he points to Solaris. Infinite scoffs at Modern Sonic. However, he nods his head, but he tells them,
Rest assured, once we defeat him, I'll finish you all off. Got it?
Modern Sonic smirks and says to Infinite, We'll see about that, but we'll deal with each other later. And thus, all 5 of them fly up to go take on Solaris. Infinite creates Phantom Ruby copies again, and positions them to different points in time to help the Super Hedgehogs fight Solaris. And while Infinite is making the Phantom Ruby copies, the Hedgehogs head to their points of time to fight Solaris. Classic Super Sonic and Super Shadow take on Solaris in the past. Modern Super Sonic takes on Solaris in the present, and Super Silver takes on Solaris in the future. The final battle with Solaris begins, with Infinite creating phantom copies of Perfect Chaos and Metal Overlord to help out Modern Sonic in the present, while creating phantom copies of the Bio Lizard and Devil Doom to help out Super Shadow and Super Classic Sonic in the past, and creating phantom copies of the Hard-Boiled King and Ultimate General to help Super Silver out in the future. And thus they all take on Solaris and begin to overwhelm him. And since the Phantom Ruby copies were able to hold their own against Solaris for a while, the Super Hedgehogs just give them the added edge they need. However, Solaris, being in his Phase 1 form, is extremely intelligent and is putting up a fight. However, he is beginning to grow more and more desperate. Solaris then gets an idea and attempts to find Infinite, and after a while, he quickly realizes where Infinite is. He's in the present with Modern Super Sonic. Solaris prepares to fire a massive laser beam at Infinite. However, Modern Sonic will manage to block the attack, saving Infinite's life. Infinite then uses the Phantom Ruby once again to create a massive shockwave at all 3 points of time, causing Solaris to be thrown back, allowing the Super Hedgehogs to get in multiple attacks on Solaris. This causes Solaris to go into its Phase 2 form, having grown more desperate. However, it's lost its intelligence, though it has grown stronger. Infinite makes more phantom copies to help the Super Hedgehogs, causing Solaris to get even more desperate and making him realize he needs to get Infinite out of the way now. This way he can have a chance against the Super Hedgehogs. Thus, Solaris charges up one final huge attack at Infinite. This way he can turn his attention back towards the Super Hedgehogs. However, when he fires it, much to his horror, he quickly realizes that Infinite was an illusion, while the real Infinite is still with Modern Sonic. Thus, the Super Hedgehogs managed to get the finishing blow on Solaris. Solaris screams, defeated, as the Super Hedgehogs and Infinite fly down to the platform below, where the rest of the group is. However, before Infinite can prepare to attack the heroes, they're all of a sudden surrounded by another blinding light. Modern Sonic, Classic Sonic, Elise, and Infinite are then all of a sudden teleported to the past, and they see a candle. Infinite, confused, went up asking,
What is that?
Elise picks up a candle and explains to them what it is, with her explaining how this was Solaris before it was experimented on. Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic quickly realize that if they're going to save time and space, that they have to blow out that candle. However, they also realize that by doing this, they would forget that this ever happened. Classic Sonic quickly realizes that this is why Modern Sonic never brought up this adventure during the events of Generations, because Modern Sonic forgot about it. Elise, although hesitant, prepares to blow out the candle. However, before Elise can blow out the candle, Infinite uses the Fanturby to throw Elise down to the ground, allowing him to grab the candle from her. Infinite then tells the trio,
I am not going to let you blow out this candle.
Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic get in a fighting stance, preparing to fight him, as Modern Sonic glares at Infinite and tells him, Listen, Infinite, if we don't blow out that candle, all of time and space could be in danger. He's right, Infinite. Are you seriously going to risk time and space all for that power? As he points to the Phantom Ruby. However, Infinite responds to the two of them by saying,
I don't care if time and space is at risk. I'm not going to lose this power I've acquired.
However, before Infinite can attempt to get away with the candle, Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic spin dash in towards Infinite, causing Infinite to drop the candle, allowing Modern Sonic to grab it. However, Infinite uses the Fanturby, causing Modern Sonic to drop the candle and to be kicked in the chest by Infinite, allowing Infinite to grab the candle. However, Classic Sonic does a super peel out, throwing Infinite into a wall as Classic Sonic now grabs the candle and throws it to Elise, with him saying, Blow it out, now! Elise, although hesitant, nods her head and blows out the candle, much to Infinite's horror, as he screams,
No!
However, it's too late, and the events of Sonic 06 are erased from the timeline. And that's where we're going to end this What If. So what did you all think? Did you expect Infinite to go toe-to-toe with Solaris? Or did you still expect Mephiles to kill Sonic? Or did you expect Classic Sonic to go super alongside Modern Sonic, Shadow, and Silver? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And by the way, if you're wondering what ended up happening after the whole Solaris reset, simply put, we're now back in the original timeline, with instead of the Fanturby landing around the time where 06 would have happened, it instead lands around the time of Sonic Forces, just like the original timeline. So after this, everything pretty much goes back to how it was in the original timeline, with the Fanturby appearing as Sonic Forces rather than in Sonic 06. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.